Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Norlin Ebel-Ame with the news. Let's begin the bulletin by telling you that President Bola Tinubu has been described as the first progressive president in the country who rose from the trenches in defense of democracy to lead the country. Various speakers, including number 2 citizen Kashim Shettima, said this at a dinner to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Nigeria's democracy there in Abuja. State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab has details.
It's one more moment to cap the celebration of an unprecedented democratic feat in Nigeria's history. The silver anniversary of a country's democracy. But this night, the focal point was almost eclipsed by the descriptions of the contributions made every step of the way by these men now at the helm of affairs.
When you were one of those whom Chief MKO Abiola sent to talk to Abuja, and one incident that happened was that the security men tried to shove you away, and today you are the president of this country.
The speakers believe the story of a democratic journey in Nigeria cannot be complete without the story of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. These are those who know Asiwaju right from the streets, and perhaps more than the man at the center appreciates himself.
This is the first time that a true Democrat, a true progressive, who took part in the political wing of the struggle, in the economic, financial wing of the struggle, in the activism of the struggle, on the streets, on the barricades, will become the president of Nigeria.
They reconvened the Senate under Ahmed Ebute, the president, and declared Abuja government illegal. Can you imagine a group of senators sitting down and declaring a military government illegal, and was charged to court?
And the other man, who was not in the trenches, is now the second in command, who saw how Tinubu saved the country's democracy after its return since 1999.
When his contemporaries were struggling for a space on the dinner table in Abuja, and in the process throwing their colleagues, their allies under the bus, he took the opportunity to build an alternative platform for the Nigerian democracy. Without this gentleman seated here, Nigeria could have been turned into a one-party state. We owe him a debt of gratitude.
Appreciation for the eulogies, but then President Tinubu's attention is now obviously focused on unity and development of the country.
That's the reason that we say when we hand over a banner without stain to our children and grandchildren. Is it not true that Nigeria is greater than any one of us? That the unity of this country cannot be traded.
Following the trend of insecurity and vandalism, the president harped on the need for leaders at all levels, including parents, to inculcate values of patriotism in the younger generations to maintain the peace and unity of the country.
If we gather as we gather here tonight, encourage our children about the charter of our value system. As they look upon me as a leader to make the changes, what about us, the rest of you, the rest of your children, making those changes too? What do you tell them? How do you teach them? Whatever we have to invest in our national orientation, I think we should do it.
And you.
And now, the journey of a democratic process continues. So also is the hope for a greater Nigeria. From the State House, Musbau and Wahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Emeka Anyoku, has called for a more people-oriented constitution in Nigeria. He made the call at a conference on June 12 rally held in Lagos. Diana Ajale tells us more.
Before the announcement of June 12 as Democracy Day by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2018, to officially recognize late Chief Moshood Abiola's contributions to the nation's struggle for democracy across the country. The day was only marked in Lagos State.
Prayer is for us to have a country.
Celebrating June 12 as Democracy Day is now a national affair that brings more people on board to reflect on the significance of the day while charting ways of advancing the cause of democracy in Nigeria.
A full democracy correlates to economic freedom. Economic freedom correlates to innovation and enterprise.
The June 12 movement is not just a gathering of talking or a memory of the departed. It is an appreciation of the past, a consciousness of the present, and a rightful projection of the future.
The event climaxed with the laying of wreath by the graveside, led by the former Secretary General, Commonwealth, Chief Emeka Anyoku, at MKO Abiola's residence, displaying their unwavering love for a man who laid down his life and that of his beloved wife for the sake of democracy in Nigeria.
The fact that he was a Democrat and believed in democracy is what we should be recalling today and what we should be pledging ourselves to continue to struggle for.
That they left everything to honor a man that's been long gone. I can't say thank you enough. I thank General Muhammadu Buhari, who came out publicly to, finally recognize the fact that there was once a man called MKO Abiola.
The 2024 Democracy Day celebration had the theme, Securing the Future of Nigeria Through a Democratic People's Constitution. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
In another development, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation has assured compliance in the implementation of the ministerial performance system to improve performance and accountability in service delivery. At a retreat and signing of performance contract with top management staff of the ministry, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Ngozi Onwudiwe, reaffirmed that staff evaluation will be subjected to the ministerial performance system before they get promotion to the next level.
That denies public servants or civil servants of their promotion is looking for trouble. And that is why I decided, let us leave every other thing apart and start this PMS, because starting from the third quarter of this year, civil servants will be assessed with the PMS. If I was asked to say my opinion, I would have thought that the implementation of some of these reforms should be based on merit according to ministries, because ministries have their peculiar problems, which they are contending with. And by the time you want all the ministries to move at the same pace, sometimes it may not be workable, but I'm praying that we should be able to catch up so that our staff will not miss their promotion exams at all because of, non-implementation of PMS.
The Ministerial Performance System is an initiative by the current administration to enhance productivity in the public sector and ensure steady and sustainable development. On budget matters, the proposed 2024 supplementary budget will soon be submitted to the Federal Executive Council for approval and subsequent transmission to the National Assembly for passage. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, said this during an engagement with the Senate and House of Representatives Joint Committee on National Planning and Economic Affairs. National Assembly correspondent Lamiali reports.
The proposed 2024 supplementary budget, the minister explains, is for infrastructure development, boosting the CNG transition initiative, and may also accommodate the new national minimum wage being agitated by the organized labor.
Transformational projects, including Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, proposed Sokoto-Badagry Road, completion of all ongoing railway projects for which we have either not provided counterpart funding or funding for rolling stocks, as well as rehabilitation and expansion of dams and irrigation schemes in order to support increase in production within the economy.
Educate us as to how far the government has gone in securing the borrowing that is necessary to sustain and implement the budget. Thank you, sir.
Atiku Bagudu adds that the appropriation will be partially funded with the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund domiciled in the National Sovereign Wealth Investment Authority. The lawmakers, however, suggest that instead of transmitting a fresh budget document, the 2024 budget could be amended to avoid additional processing costs.
If we go for supplementary budget, the amount of requirements are going to be much higher. Because, of course, you cannot do assembly budget without taking the entire political system into account. But when you do an amendment and introduce those elements that you think are necessary, and upgrade some projects that are already there, but you maybe increase their funding, and it will be cheaper.
In another development, the Chairman Senate Committee on Local Content, Natasha Akpoti-Oduah, has urged the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas NLNG to comply with provisions of the law by judiciously utilizing the 1% project value of the Train 7 project was $43 million on human capacity development. At a meeting with representatives of the NLNG and other stakeholders related to the project, Senator Natasha stresses these funds should be utilized with transparency for the benefit of Nigerians.
Was there a proposal or a request from NLNG to bring down that value from $43 million to $10 million? We need more light, and we would appreciate documents.
The committee advised that a framework be established to select public institutions in the country that would benefit from the strategic program to enhance capacity. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Similarly, the House of Representatives Committee on Health Institutions is advocating the need for improvement in budgetary allocation to the Federal Medical Center BIDA to reposition it to deliver on her mandate of providing quality health care, research and community service. Chairman of the committee, Amos Gomna Magaji, was speaking when he led other members on assessment visit to the Federal Tertiary Health Institution in Bida, Niger State. Fatima Usman has details.
The House of Representatives Committee on Health Institutions, on its constitutional mandate of oversight visits to agencies, was at the Federal Medical Center, Bida, to assess activities of the facility and to check its management document to ensure effective utilization of budgetary allocations. The committee while on inspection tour of the facility, enthused that the House, in its public hearing, had recommended a declaration of state of emergency on health to address issues that include human resources for health, capacity building, strengthen every hospital infrastructure and equipment, while bridging the gap of employment by reducing bureaucracy and capitation of the national health insurance to discourage medical tourism.
An institution of this magnitude, in such a way that many people are coming from different areas to access health care. So we as a committee believe that with this demonstration of capacity they've done, we will actually look into the funds that get into FMC bidda.
In the last 2-3 years, we make sure that whatever we generate, 25% is taken back to the government. The remaining 75% is what we are using to run the hospital. What we are generating is low compared to hospitals in the big city.
The committee chairman, who inaugurated the recently renovated and expanded emergency pediatric unit at the Federal Medical Center Bidda, also met with union leaders of the health institution to address issues affecting efficiency. In Mina, I am Fatima Usman, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention to court proceedings now. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the suit filed by the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, praying the court to grant local governments in Nigeria full autonomy. Judiciary correspondent Austin Aibe reports that this was after parties in the matter adopted their final written addresses.
At Thursday's proceeding, all the 36 states of the Federation were represented in court. Justice Garba Lawal, leading the 7-man panel of justices, sought a celebrated hearing of the matter, thereby giving an order to parties to file their final written addresses. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, in adopting his address, urged the Supreme Court to grant all the relief sought, which include an order prohibiting state governors from embarking on unilateral, arbitrary, and unlawful dissolution of democratically elected local government officials, an order to withhold the funds meant for local governments in such states that unlawfully dissolves democratically elected local government officials through illegal transitional implementation committee. Also, an order to allow the monthly allocation of local governments to be directly paid to them from the Federation account in line with the provisions of the Constitution as against alleged unlawful joint accounts created by governors. The Attorney General of the Federation urged the justices to go through his submission and grant all the prayers. The 36 states defendants in the matter took turn to adopt processes filed, which include counter affidavits and written addresses as their arguments in the case, in strong opposition to the reliefs being sought by the federal government. They urged the justices of the Apex Court to dismiss the plaintiff's originating summons with substantial cost.
Most of us in all the states of the Federation have contended that that is not the true position. And we have submitted our true positions in respect of all the various states to the court. So we are waiting for the court's own verdict.
The court of Nigeria has no original jurisdiction to entertain this matter on the ground that the relief sought are beneficial to the local governments of Nigeria who are not parties to the matter.
To grant what the AG is seeking, in our own view, though the courts are here to decide on it, will amount to amendment of the law.
After parties adopted their written addresses, which represent their argument in the matter, the court adjourned the matter for judgment, with date to be communicated to parties. From the Supreme Court, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Austin. And still staying with the judiciary, a federal high court sitting in Kano has declared jurisdictional to continue presiding over the case of human rights violation against the deposed Emir Aminu Ado Bayero. The matter was adjourned to the 14th of this June for hearing on the motion and pending applications. Here is Elizabeth Yila Lamido standing by at the Federal High Court to update us on this. Hello, Elizabeth. Can you speak to us further on this?
I would like to take us back to what happened last week, Thursday, the 6th of June, where at the Federal High Court sitting, the presiding judge, Abdullahi Muhammad Liman, sat and heard submissions from the counsel of both the applicants and where the issue of jurisdiction came into fore. And this was adjourned to today. And today during the meeting, the judge was able to say, based on and relying on section 42, subsection 1 of the Constitution, the court has powers of jurisdiction to hear the case. The suit was actually placed by the plaintiff, or rather the complainant, Aminu Babatang Agundi, and it was against a number of government bodies as well as individuals, including the Kano State government, Kano State House of Assembly, Speaker of the House of Assembly, Kano State Commissioner of Police, Inspector General of Police, the Nigerian Security and Defense Corps, and the Department of State Security. And the judge also adjourned the sitting for today to continue tomorrow the 14th for hearing of motions and pending applications.
All right, very well, Elizabeth. Thank you for your submission from that end. This is Nationwide News on the network service of the NTA. Let's pause here for a break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on Nationwide. Wife of the President, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has flagged off disbursement of 10 million naira agricultural support scheme in Rivers State under the Renewed Hope initiative. The scheme, flagged off by wife of Rivers State Governor Valerie Fubara on behalf of the President's wife, will have 20 women benefiting in the first phase. Osinachi Samuel has details.
Renewed Hope Initiative is a pet project of the wife of the President, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, to better the lives of Nigerians across various sectors of the economy. Represented by wife of the Governor of Rivers State, Lady Valerie Fubara, Senator Tinubu says the agricultural support is a critical aspect of the initiative that will enable women participate in building a food-sufficient state and nation.
The federal government, through the Renewed Hope Initiative, is set to commence the Every Home a Garden Farmers Competition. The aim of the competition is to make every woman involved in the process of providing food for all. A handsome reward of 20 million naira awaits winners of the competition. I urge the women of Rivers State, especially those that are first-time farmers and passionate about agriculture, to put their entries and make your interests count.
Her experience from Lagos, and she was a senator for more than 10 years. So you can imagine the experience and the knowledge with which she has put forward this program.
So we thank all of you for being part of that long train, but we thank the wife of our governor for spearheading it here and making sure that it's all inclusive.
Renewed Hope Initiative had earlier flagged off support for the elderly, giving exercise books and award of scholarships to school children in Rivers State. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
In a related development, a women farmers group has agreed to key into the federal government's food security initiative to boost national food production and poverty eradication in rural communities. The women under the Nigeria Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development Initiative is already sensitizing farmers on good agronomic practices as the 2024 wet season farming activities commence. Musa Babalio reports.
Women play a significant role in food production in Africa, including Nigeria. They contribute largely in land clearing, planting, harvesting, marketing, and value addition. Despite these efforts, they are often not considered when it comes to access to land, finance, and inputs when compared to their men counterparts. Nigeria Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development was therefore formed to champion and protect the interests of women in food production value chain.
We're here to discuss a significant...
Farmer Omolara Sevenson is the national coordinator and president of the organization.
This position underscores our commitment to creating a focused, inclusive, and progressive platform for women in agriculture. By standing independently, we believe we can more effectively advocate for the interests of women farmers, processors, commodity traders, and drive meaningful change within the agricultural sector.
The group also commended the First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, for encouraging women to go into farming and pledged to work with her to achieve success in her farming campaign strategy.
And there is no excuse to say, oh, I don't have a farmland. You can farm in a sack, you can farm in buckets. So yes, we've tapped into it. The First Lady is doing a great job and we are giving her all our support. And more is going to come to light in that regard.
Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development stands as the only registered and authorized women-only agricultural initiative in Nigeria, with membership across states and local levels in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Still on agriculture, the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, has launched distribution of farming inputs for the 2024 rainy season in the Northeast region, aiming to reach 26,750 households across Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, and Taraba states. The intervention focuses on enhancing food production, fostering income generation, and strengthening the resilience of more than 187,000 returning individuals affected by conflicts. Mohammed Goni reports.
The distribution will cover 20 local government areas within the 4 states, significantly impacted by the more than a decade-long conflict. Beneficiaries include vulnerable internally displaced persons, host communities, and returnees with access to land, providing support where it is most needed.
The Borno State government is indeed aware of the strategic role being played by the Food and Agricultural Organization, particularly in assisting victims of the insurgents.
In Borno State alone, 9,975 households across 32 wards in 7 local government areas are set to receive assistance during the 2024 rainy season. The distributed inputs include cereal seeds of millet, sorghum, maize, wild legume seeds of cowpea, groundnuts, sesame, and vegetable seeds of okra, amaranth, along with wet blended fertilizer are crucial components of FAO's aid strategy.
We are bringing very good seeds to the farmers. You are bringing fertilizer. You are bringing our technical support to allow the farmer in Borno State to produce.
By targeting households in conflict-affected areas and providing essential farming inputs, FAO aims to significantly contribute to the agricultural revitalization and economic stability of the Northeast region. FAO's support endeavors not only alleviate immediate food insecurity, but also fortify the resilience of returnees within the settled communities. In Maiduguri, Umar Jimbarima, NTA News.
From Maiduguri, we take you to Benin, where Anwuli Okolo is in our Benin Network Center to present to us the reports from that axis. Take it up from here, Anwuli, and good evening to you.
Benin. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has described investment in human capacity as the sure way to improving productivity in the civil service, as demonstrated by the government of Edo State. The former president stated this during the inauguration of the Edo State Civil Service Secretariat Complex in Benin. Goodluck Naini has details.
The Secretariat Complex, which is among the several projects of Obaseki-led administration and houses 76 ministries and agencies with 24-hour power supply generated from the Osiomo power plant put in place by the state government to enhance daily operation. The project is now officially inaugurated, coinciding with Nigeria's Democracy Day anniversary. This feast for Dr. Jonathan is significant. He also sees the building as a secretariat with state-of-the-art facilities and other initiatives put to enhance workers' welfare as well thought of by the state government.
You don't have this setting so commonly in Nigeria. To be a leader, especially a political leader, you want to be a local government chairman, you want to be a governor of a state, you want to be a president of a country. You must be somebody who has a vision. You are not supporting these brains because you want to win election, but because you want to build a state. And for you to build a state, you have to build the people.
If we have to continue to attract private sector investments, which we require to develop Edo State, it is important that we must upgrade the workplace, personality, and capacity of the public servant.
Former President Jonathan also unveiled a plaque and planted a symbolic tree before performing the foundation laying of 1,500-seat capacity theatre to be named after him in Benin. Good luck in Aini, NTA News.
June 12, also known as Democracy Day, holds a significant place in Nigeria's political history, symbolizing the nation's enduring quest for democracy and the resilience of its democratic spirit. Commemorating the historic presidential election of June 12, 1993, and honoring the memory of the struggles and sacrifices made in the pursuit of democratic governance, Joy Egbo was in the metropolis to get views of residents on the day.
The struggle and sacrifices of the June 12 movement played a crucial role in the eventual transition to civilian rule. In 1999, precisely on May 29th, democracy was returned to Nigeria when a new democratic government came on board and was adopted as Democracy Day until 2018, when President Muhammadu Buhari announced June 12 as a new date for the celebration of Democracy Day, acknowledging the historical and symbolic significance of the 1993 election. Some Nigerians expressed their views on Democracy Day.
Some are celebrating in full, while some are celebrating in hunger. They are hungry everywhere. People are hungry.
Before democracy, I would agree that democracy, then we should do what is normal. As time goes on, things will strive. That's what I believe.
I think what we actually need is the civil society, the professional groups, the so-called NOAA, the National Orientation Agency, to do thorough educating the people.
Nigerians are reminded that June 12 is not just a date, but honors the sacrifices of MKO Abiola and other heroes past in Nigerians' journey of nationhood. It serves as a beacon of hope towards a more equitable society, and that the pursuit of democratic ideas remains a central focus for the future. In Benin, Joy Egbo, NTA News.
That's it from Benin. It's back to you, Norlin.
Very much, Anwuli. As Muslims the world over prepare for the Sallah celebration, there are indications that prices of essential items such as rams, food items and other condiments have risen to higher proportion. Haruna Mohammed in Kaduna has the situation report.
Countdown to the Eid al-Kabir celebration, major streets in Kaduna are flooded with needs for the festivity, especially the sacrificial ram. Meanwhile, the vendors record low patronage. They attribute it to increased inflation and disruption in the supply chain, as well as buyers express concern over the affordability in maintaining the customary practices.
People don't have money, and there are problems some here and there. Even with that, we are purchasing at the high price.
They are coming somehow like this, but not as we want. The market is not running as usual.
The ram market this year is outrageous. What we used to buy about 150, 200 last year, this year now is going from 400 upwards. There is a ram of 1.5, there is a ram of 2 million. The ones I even came here to buy, they are outrageous, but we just have to manage because with the economic situation now in the country.
On the importance of the tradition, Islamic scholars speak.
You should remember Allah in the specified or the anointed days. And these are the first 10 days of Zulhijjah. So you are expected to carry out a lot of zikr.
While the Muslim faithfuls observe Arafat Day on Saturday, Sunday will be the Eid al-Adha. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Here comes Haruna Mohammed again, joining us live from Zango Rams Market, Tudunwada in Kaduna. I salute you, Haruna.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, it is 72 hours to the Eid al-Adha celebration, where the Muslim faithful, the able Muslim faithful, is expected to slaughter a ram, a sheep, a cow, or a camel.
All right, what are the
and
residents
I am at the
saying?
popular Zango market here, located in southern Kaduna South local government area of Kaduna State. This market place holds to various vendors from not only in Nigeria, but that also those that came from Mali, Niger, and other parts of adjoining countries within bordering Nigeria. And talking about the prices of the rams here in the market, this ram here goes for the sum of 480,000 naira, while the one just behind me here is, this one is about 460,000 naira. And on the patronage here, there's a market. According to the investigation I had, or conversation I had with some of the customers who come here to patronize the market, they are still baffled with the prices of the rams. Most of them come here with the intention to purchase the ram, but they are unable to do so due to the prices. And when I actually look deeper to ask the reason why the prices of the ram, because as at last year, if you purchase a ram for about 60,000 naira, this year it is that same ram you put, that same ram will go for about almost 200 or 150,000 naira. And when I asked the reason behind that, they told me a bag of feed for ram that goes for 1,500 naira as at last year, this year is sold for about 6,000 to 7,000 naira.
All right.
So at the moment, the market
price is quite high according to your investigation there, and of course low patronage is expected in this direction. Thank you very much for your submission.
Thank you so much.
In other news, the call for collective efforts to promote the principles of democracy and to build a society where equity and fairness are the cornerstone is the thrust of conversation at the Christian-Muslim Unity Foundation as it marked Democracy Day. Deborah Balagbobo has details.
What are we doing to make it? Because the country now belongs to you.
Speaker after speaker shared insight on promoting equity and fairness in governance with focus on individual efforts, which is crucial in shaping the future of the country.
Let us remember that our collective efforts are crucial in shaping a future where every individual, irrespective of their tribe or religion, has a sense of belonging, has a voice, has equal opportunities in the governance of our country.
In this regard, to the youth present here today, I urge you to take up the mantle of leadership and be champions of unity and peace. Your energy, creativity, and resilience are the driving forces that will propel our nation forward.
Let us be the change we want to see in our country. Let us use our gifts and talents to serve as well as to pray for our leaders.
Speaking on the theme, promoting equity and fairness in governance to achieve peace and unity, Executive Secretary, Nigerian Interreligious Council, Reverend Father Cornelius Omonukwa, advised Nigerians to promote peaceful coexistence to enable the country soar to greater heights.
To keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done.
The foundation was initiated as a forum for dialogue among the two religions and create an understanding between the prominents. In Abuja, Deborah Balagbobo, NTA News.
Our second commercial break beckons at this point. Stay with us on Nationwide. Thank you for staying with us on Nationwide. We shall now be joining Salamatu in our Kaduna Network Center, who will be taking us through the reports from that end. Good evening, Salamatu.
Nolin. Good evening and good to see you. The federal government is set to subsidize CNG vehicle conversion kits by 50% for Road Transport Union members, with a goal to convert 1 million vehicles from PMS to CNG by 2027. The program director of Presidential Initiative on CNG revealed this during a Northern Stakeholders engagement in Kaduna. Muhammad Umarajingi reports.
These are the Presidential Committee on Compressed Natural Gas, engaging key stakeholders from the northern region's transport sector. These discussions are crucial step in promoting the federal government's initiative to phase out petrol-powered vehicles in favor of CNG-powered alternatives, particularly for buses.
And we're making kits available to them at 50% discount, and we are also ensuring that the installation cost is free. We've already identified those 8 conversion centers in 4 states. That will be the pilot states, and we have over 120 of them across the country.
Represented at the meeting, the Kaduna State Governor Obasani emphasized the need for cleaner and more affordable energy options to benefit the public.
We in Kaduna State, like in any other state across the Federation, deem it necessary to actively support and participate in the federal government initiative, which we believe is a giant stride in the right direction in order to address a major climatic and economic factor in our transport sectors.
The stakeholders supported the initiative, acknowledging its potential long-term environmental and economic benefits.
With the AKK gas pipeline coming on board, there will be easy supply of the natural gas. And the MBTE is now working with the Presidential Committee to develop occupational standards for the training of those operators and technicians who will be doing the conversion.
As this discussion continues, the Presidential Committee on CNG says it remains committed to providing the necessary support and resources to ensure the successful implementation of this initiative across the country. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umarajingi, NTA News.
The Kaduna State government has reaffirmed its commitment to deepening citizen engagement to harness collective ideas of all for the progress and development of the state. The state governor, Obasani, during an engagement with the state elders and religious leaders, emphasized the importance of inclusiveness in decision-making process to unlock the state's full potential. Again, Muhammad Umarajingi tells us more.
The Kaduna State government has been holding a series of meetings with key stakeholders to discuss ongoing development initiatives and strategies for maintaining peace across the state. This meeting with the elders is one of such engagements to deepen collaboration in joining forces together for the development of the state.
One area that needs attention is the decimation of some chiefdoms, especially the dismissed district and village heads.
In Kaduna State now, whether you are a critic, whether you're an enemy, whether you're an opponent, whether you are anything, we have improvement in security.
The state governor, while responding to comments and contributions by the elders, outlined the various steps taken by his administration to foster development in different sectors.
Healthcare for us is not only a privilege for the poor people, it's a right. A few months ago, we invested a lot in primary healthcare, but we are also looking at our secondary healthcare.
The governor also engages religious leaders from diverse faiths in a similar meeting to foster interreligious harmony and peace in the state.
We are now enjoying peace in Kaduna State. I made it clear that there cannot be peace without justice.
Nigeria needs to be speaking to each other
to understand each other, and this kind of meeting is a very good avenue.
The two religions are beginning to feel at ease with one another. Gradually, there's a calming down of the atmosphere, and thanks to the approach of the government.
The state government promised to continue engaging all stakeholders to ensure development reaches every corner of the state. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajingi, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Kaduna. Over to Nolin in our Abuja studio.
Thank you, Salamatu. Now to sports update. Bryce's sports story concludes Nationwide today. Thank you for being part of it. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Do have a lovely evening.